in a physical world that it too has created, because it, your consciousness, is part and parcel of absolute consciousness, which I call God. The absolute. And you're a part of it. The same as I could take a drop of that water out of this glass, and one drop of water is part of the water that's in that glass. A drop of Cook Inlet, or a bucket of water from Cook Inlet, is part and parcel of Cook Inlet. So you have within your own self right now all the powers of God that will ever be, because all the power that ever was or ever will be is here now within your own self, and you are using it effortlessly every moment of your day. The question is, as I mentioned earlier, how are you using it? What are you imagining for yourself and others? And above all, believing. You will enjoy or suffer the results sooner or later. Sooner or later. Every enlightened master, and I am by no means a master, has taught unequivocally that it is done unto us only as we believe. And what do we believe? Well, we believe the thoughts and the mental images that we conceive within ourselves about whoever, whatever, whenever, and wherever. And when we see those thoughts, those invisible thoughts to others, but visible to us, that we long forgotten about, especially those negative mental images, and we suffer the negative consequences, we're moaning and groaning and bitching and complaining, why did this happen to me? I'm telling you why. You thought the thought, however long ago, and that thought sooner or later bore its fruit. Plain and simple. That's my task at the thought food. To get you, one of you, to begin to understand that. In John 14th chapter, 2nd, 3rd, and 29th verse is the following. It's truth, but your mind. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And now I have told you before it come to pass, that when it is come to pass, ye might believe. Now, but Jesus supposedly told his followers back then. Jesus was a master of the mind. A master of the mind. One of the foremost masters of the mind. Although there are masters today that are equal. But you don't hear about them because the Western world is too busy proselytizing Christianity. But there are masters today that are able to do the same works that Jesus did. Even he himself said, greater things than I do shall ye do. But in this statement, Jesus is talking about imagination. In effect, this is what Jesus was saying about your imagination. And when Jesus and others referred to Father, he was referring to that consciousness. So he called it Father. We can call it Spirit. We can call it by whatever name, because the name is not it. Because it is really non-definable. It is your beingness. The beingness that is responsible for you being and is responsible for everything else being, and is also responsible for you being able to perceive that which you imagine. I took that statement from John and I rewrote it in the following manner. In absolute consciousness, there are all things imaginable. That's many mansions. I, imagination, go to prepare a place for you. And when I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And now now that's Jesus now, I, Jesus, have told you before it come to pass, that when it come to pass, ye might believe. What Jesus is telling the people is, I'm telling you about how your imagination works. It says all things exist now in imagination. All things imaginable exist right now in absolute consciousness. And those mansions are the various whatevers that anyone is able to imagine. I am telling you, the man now, Jesus, that when you see it, when you imagine it inwardly, you have entered into one of those mansions. And I, the man, am telling you, once you enter into that mansion, which is whatever you desire to experience, you will experience it. And that's the truth about how your mind works. You imagine it, and eventually that imagined image, providing you believe it and have no doubt, it will come to pass in its own time. If you imagine yourself going to college, although you may not be a student right now, and you imagine it, no matter how old you are, and you believe that you're able to do it, sooner or later, if you allow no one to talk you out of it, and don't talk yourself out of it, because no one can really talk you out of anything. They can make suggestions, and you can accept those suggestions and talk yourself out of it. But if you don't, months, possibly years from now, you will beget the event, and you will see yourself going through the college doors or the university doors in this state or out of state, possibly in some other country. Imagination begets the event, providing you believe it.